It's taking a little bit longer, but there we go. We live.
We're live. I
hmm
see it.
This is the Over 30
Hey.
Podcast, episode 17.
Mm,
We here a little late, but it is what it
17.
is. Better late than never.
Better late than never.
And we are
You
here
know
on a
about it.
Wednesday because we switched it up just for this week. We'll be back next Tuesday to go ahead and get back on schedule.
I'm sure we
But
have a new schedule.
what's good with y'all? We in here got the Over 30 holistic expert Tisha Marie in the building. What's good with you, Tisha? Now, she getting it saved and getting it taken care of. So we can go ahead and get some music cracking off while y'all come on in. Y'all say what's up today. We talking about love languages. Yes, today we are talking about love languages. Love languages. How do you speak love? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be for real. This is gonna be a learning opportunity for me because for the most part, when it comes to love languages, I've heard people talk about them. I've heard it being discussed, but I've paid little to no interest in them. So please forgive me. But Tisha Marie will be breaking down love languages. I will be learning. I will be a student today. As I am typically on this podcast, you know what I'm saying? She usually be breaking it down for me. So y'all stay tuned. We getting it saved right now, or getting it shared, excuse me. So everybody else can see that we live. When you come in, hit the like button, hit the share button if you can. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe. You feel me? And we getting it started in just a little bit. So we working on a new intro that's currently in production. This is gonna be one of the songs that's playing on the intro as we come in. Uh, let's get it cracking. Shout out to the homie Nick Brooks. Let's get it. Y'all give us a second. Tisha is sharing it on Facebook so y'all can see it, so everybody can get the opportunity to see it. But shout out to the homie, man. She's back. Hopefully she got it shared. Again, as y'all come in, hit the like button. You feel me? Show that y'all fucking with the show.
Thankful I'm much more awake. I needed some space. I think I was feeling away.
So we just gonna rock out for a second as everything as y'all come in. We talking about love languages.
I'm feeling better today. I'm feeling better today. Thankful I'm much more awake. I needed some space. I think I was feeling away. It wasn't always so great, but shit wasn't always so great. Let me explain. I'm from a place where it's kill to be killed or not for an eye. You live by the sword, you die by the sword, but niggas want more, and that's why we lie. That plus oppression and poverty lines got us on edge, trying to survive.
We are on both
Can't get a job,
Facebook
but gotta
and YouTube.
provide, and that's why we leading the life of the crime. A city we raised, city forgot us and
Make
never
sure y'all
repaid.
subscribe to the channel on YouTube and follow the page on
Culture that
Facebook.
came and spat in our face, despite in the fact that we facing the plague. Suffered enough through them slavery days, suffering still, should never change. Niggas get killed, niggas in chains, broke on the wheel, just look at the news. Hanging from trees, look at the noose. Exodus signs reflecting the truth.
We'll be
Children of
starting
Jacob
in
collecting
just
was
a
due.
second.
Word to the wise and even the fools. Open your heart and learn to improve. You can undo the shit to undo, so learn to forgive and learn to remove the
Benefits and
demons inside that's
barriers.
holding
We
you close.
talking about
Till
it.
next
Love
time, I
language.
let one go. Strengthen your mind, protect your soul, protect your soul.
Let your mind be free, regardless what they choose to see. Strength comes from the valleys, not the peaks. Take your time, find peace. Stay true to who you wanna be. Salvation comes from those that believe.
I always been
Shout out to
different,
the
I know it.
homie.
Nigga, I'm special, I'm glowing. Showing up, I show up a shogun. It's killing them, knowing it's showing.
That's off my homie the Ben Kenobi, Return of the Jedi. Ben Kenobi, Return of the Jedi. Y'all can find that on Spotify. But let's go ahead and get into the show.
What's going
Let me
on?
introduce the Over 30 holistic expert Tisha Marie. What's good with you?
What's going on? I am
How are
lovely,
you?
lovely. I'm great. Just great. Had a long
Now,
week, but it's probably not
yeah,
as long as yours.
right. For those who don't know, I
Um,
have welcomed the son into this world, little Huey Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Named after the great Huey P. Newton. You feel me?
I figured
So
that. I was gonna ask you. I figured
yeah.
that.
What the
Of
crazy thing about
course.
it? Like, listen, like if I tell you that my son name is Huey, and the first thing you think about is a cartoon character, Whether you talking about the old cartoon character like Huey, like Baby Huey the Duck, or you talk about like Huey from the Boondocks, I'm gonna judge you. I'm not gonna feel bad about my son's name. I'm not gonna be embarrassed by my son's name. I'm gonna judge you.
I literally thought Huey P. Newton as soon as you said it. I guess that's
Right.
just me. And I mean, just knowing you, the intellect you are, it had to
I mean, that's
happen.
who inspired it, though. You know what I mean, for those who don't know, my like me wanting to understand the law and understand politics comes from me learning about the history of the Black Panthers and what they represent and what they stood for. So that's why we're there. But that's enough about me. I am not important. I'm not that important. Because I don't have the
Yeah.
knowledge for today. Who has the knowledge for today? Tisha got the knowledge for today. Today we talking about love language, the benefits and the barriers. Um, what put it on your heart to have this discussion as we get into it?
You know, just I mean, we always go over the season that we're in, but obviously we're in a season of love. I mean, we're surrounded by family, we're surrounded by positivity, we're surrounded by gatherings. We had just left off of Thanksgiving,
Now,
and now
is the
we're
season of
approaching.
love the same as cuffing season, or is that?
I mean, I think I like to associate the season of love with actual the winter time because I think that's the
Ah,
time where people come together a lot more
okay.
in harmony, being more harmonious to each other as opposed to,
That holiday spirit. That's what they call it, the
yeah,
holiday
that
spirit.
spirit. Yeah, being in the spirit. I'm not such a huge holiday person, but I think the spirit and the positivity surrounding the holiday is amazing. So, this is probably one of the best topics for this era, and also it's just been a very hard year. So it's just really good to talk about how to identify one another's love language, and I just want to preempt it with this. You don't necessarily have to be in a relationship to have or identify love language. You can be in any type of relationship, whether it be friendships, whether it be with your parents, your siblings. You don't necessarily have to be in a love intimate relationship to, still utilize these tools.
All right, now I think we should go ahead and get into it. I think for people like myself, I've heard the conversation. I remember when the whole first love language, um, like what was it, movement or wave? It was introduced some years back, and everybody was talking about they love language. I love like all of that, whatever. But it was mostly sisters talking about it. It
Yes,
was
the
mostly the
sister,
ladies.
as usual.
Right. And for me, it was kind of just like, I guess. Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a mature enough mind to explore it. You feel me? So
Right.
now I'm glad I'm here with you, somebody who's more knowledgeable about this whole thing. And let's get into it. So for somebody like me, how would you introduce love languages in terms of, their importance, where they come from, that type of shit?
First of all, I think they're very important to know because when you're entering into, and I'm gonna utilize you because you are married. I think when you're entering into some type of committed relationship, especially to those extremes, I think it's very important to identify one another love languages so you can actually utilize that to keep the relationship fresh and keep it going and keep it just strong as far as like knowing each other in a certain way, and also for women, and I'm giving you guys some game on this. For women, if a man knows her love language, a man, he just know how to speak to her, he just know what to do. Like, I mean, it's five different love languages. So if I approach a man, the first thing that I want to identify is how he loves, his language that he speaks. That'll keep the relationship going. It'll keep the relationship strong. You guys, they say every relationship is subjective, and every relationship has its own language. And that language they're talking about is his love language. So every relationship has a love language. You just have to identify one another's love language, or you guys may share the same love language, but to actually accentuate on that love language and utilize it daily or whenever you can, or whatever is like important to use it, is very, very good to do so, and keeps a strong, healthy relationship. I'm single, but I think that is one of the things that I can do right.
So okay, okay.
I mean, just not necessarily dealing with, intimate partner. I mean, just I utilize this with everyone.
I mean, and I give you that. I ain't, no shade. Like I feel like I honestly I feel like it's a lot of stuff that you do well in terms of certain understanding. So we'll give you those props. Now where did the idea and the concept of the love language stem from? How did you learn about it? What
Um,
got you into understanding it?
well, for me personally, I had a friend talk about it. They just went into a fresh relationship, and obviously I've heard about the love language, and I've always knew mine without a shadow of a doubt because I know myself and I spend a lot of time with me. Just just putting it out
Okay,
there.
right,
But
right.
this friend really wanted to actually get this relationship right. Just been into a lot of tumultuous situations and relationship. Her and her now fiance was reading this book. This book is called The Five Different Love Languages. This is for like married couples. They actually have one for singles, and it's by Gary Chapman. And it just basically identifies and has a test in it as well of love languages. She was just explaining it to me, and I was just like, okay, I want that book. I want to read
Now
it.
and tonight I will be because I don't know my love language. I
So you're
haven't
gonna take the test?
explored that, but I will be taking the test
Okay.
to understand my love language. Once we get into Tisha breaking each one down. And again, today the way we having the conversation is we want people to kind of take something away from it. So the way that we having the kind of conversation is understanding it from the perspective of benefits and barriers. You know what I mean? Like because with everything, it's a duality. With everything, you have the
Absolutely.
positives and the
And the negative.
benefits of it, and with everything, there's certain barriers that get in the way of certain things. And I think when it comes to love languages, what what we're talking about is communication, right?
Absolutely.
Like that's like the purpose of language is communicating, and
How you
so
communicate. Yes.
right, without a doubt,
Absolutely.
without a doubt. So.
Absolutely.
Um, I also there's one thing I also want to know about in terms of natal charts and horoscopes and that communication aspect and the role that plays in that. But
Mhm.
but that's further. You know what I'm saying? We'll get into that.
Yes, yes,
Um,
yes. I want to. That's amazing. Thank you for
but
adding
okay, so Gary Chapman brought the knowledge. Jerry Chapman brought the information.
that.
And it's something that you've now introduced into how you understand about yourself because you would argue that you feel like it's pretty accurate in this understanding of how people communicate to others and how they like to be communicated to. You think it's something that's
Absolutely.
on point?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I took the test a few years back, and on point, it was me all the way. And I actually, like reflecting back on my life, I've actually been in situations where, for my love language personally, when it wasn't being spoken or it wasn't being accentuated upon, I knew there was a problem. I felt like that person was neglecting me. I felt like that person didn't get me on a deeper level. I felt like that person did not,
Mm-hmm.
associate or can mentally connect with me in different ways. So it was huge. And then, like, reading up on it and more upon my love language, I'm like, wow, this is like needed. This is something that's very, very, very needed in a relationship. I think that for me,
So, all right,
personally, my
so you think it's one of them survival tools, like
it's a,
you know,
definitely a
you're not
survival
putting you're
tool.
not putting in work in your relationship if you ain't trying to understand your love
Yeah,
language.
because I scored very high on this particular love language, and I just wanted to like, yeah, I just wanted to like utilize it, or I want to utilize it throughout my entire life. And I think that is a tool. That is definitely a for your entire life in any relationship.
So let's go ahead and get into it then. So I think I got a good foundation, a good thing. It's looked at as a tool, right? You know how they say
Mhm.
guns don't kill people, people kill people. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it's like a gun. It's a tool, like a hammer. It's a tool. It could build or
absolutely.
it could destroy.
Absolutely.
It could protect or it could hurt. You know what
Absolutely.
I mean? And that's why we talking about it in the context of.
Of
And that's
love.
my son, y'all. That's little baby Huey. You know what I'm saying?
Oh.
Um, Fussing because he hungry. But the benefit of it. That's the only time he fusses when he hungry. So
Oh,
other
that's
other
good.
other than that, like I be on here editing videos and shit, and he just be sitting here chilling with me. You know what I'm saying? So
Oh, that's
uh,
good.
shout out to Maseed. But getting into it, what is the first love language we're gonna talk about today? What's the first one you
The
want to get into?
first love language I want to talk about is words of affirmation.
Words of
Words
affirmation.
of aff-
Talk
words of
nice to
affirmation.
me.
Talk nice. There you
Uh,
go. So words
Yeah.
of affirmation is actually my love language as well. So
Okay. You like to be complimented. You
yeah,
see.
see, look at
Good.
you. You know a little bit about words of affirmation. Actually, yes, that is. And it goes deeper than compliments for me. It would be a compliment, but I like to intellectually have a conversation with someone and be on a level of talking and communicating. It's just communicating in all areas as far as like talking and making sure that person is paying attention, that mental banter, that repartee, all those things that help me, a witty conversation, all those things that makes me feel like that person is on my level as far as communicating with words,
Mm,
affirming with the words. So yeah, it goes a little deeper with than compliments with me. So
okay.
because
So
as older I get, the more and more I yearn for intellectual conversations and
okay,
those type
so
of.
when you're saying words of affirmation, you're not necessarily saying just you saying you affirming me, but affirming like my intelligence, my
Exactly.
perspective.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Absolutely. Deeper, just far as like communicating with me, any type of verbal understanding. Like, and we'll get into it, but like being ignored, I can't take it, or being
So hit you. Look, a nigga hit you with the cold shoulder. That hurt your feelings, huh?
yeah, like after I'm talking to them, or if I want to talk about deep things they neglected or something like that, that's hurtful
Mm.
to me. You know what I mean? So so I kind of
So
words of affirmation is really, but on a
so
basic
what are
level.
so you got so you have affirming kind of like your intelligence in terms of those words of affirmation. But what are
Mhm.
some other characteristics of words of affirmation?
Words of affirmation could be even like giving affirmations, really great affirmations, like the I am affirmations. But some of the things are like you mentioned, compliments, like you're beautiful, or your dress is nice, or I'm happy to see you, or I'm so proud of you, or you did such a good job, or oh man, you're so smart. Those things is someone that with that love language are so, those are the things that they like to hear. Those are the things that they like, and it feels good to them if they hear it often, if their partner does it often, or their family or their friends does it often, like, man, you're smart, or man, this is amazing, or man, you're, just directing it towards them, giving them that attention, giving them the compliments that they need, giving them the time for them to express their verbally how they feel, or you express to them how you feel on a deeper level, like, hey, I love you, I want to be with you for the rest of my life. You're the only one for me. Those type of things is what people with the love language words of affirmation would love to hear.
Got you. So like I said before, we're definitely having a conversation with the with certain dualities. Is that my phone? Where is it? Yeah, hold on, bear with me. I don't even know where it's at.
I'm at the studio.
Well, it's my mama. My mama probably trying to FaceTime my son. She was here for 3 weeks.
Oh.
So she probably trying to FaceTime him.
Mhm.
But in terms of in terms of keeping the conversation in respect to the duality that we've been talking about, I want to start out with the are you the type of person that like good news first or bad news first?
For me, I like the bad news first, so the good news can soothe the bad news. I
Got you.
always say that. That was my motto. It's like, tell me the bad news,
Okay.
that way when I hear the good news, it'll help out a lot more.
So let's talk about the barriers. Let's
Okay.
talk about the barriers associated with
Words
um
of affirmation.
with words of affirmation. What are some of the things that gets in the way of? Let's first start with how people who speak the love language of words of affirmation. What are
Mhm.
some of the barriers that gets in the way of them understanding other people?
As far as like what can be done to them.
Well, in terms of kind of understanding, like when you're dealing with somebody who operates from a different love language than you,
Mhm.
in terms of dealing with that, what are some of the issues that people who embrace or who speak those words of affirmation that run into with communicating with people who speak different love languages?
Yeah, that's a good thing because someone with words of affirmation, and oftentimes your partner may not have the same love language as you, but um, and it could be very difficult if they do not know yours because it'll bring some type of imbalance in the relationship because that person would look at that person as if they don't care or they don't care enough about them to express that type of love language or even identify that type of love language to them. So it'll be insulting to that person. Or that person may not know that words are very sensitive to the person with the words of affirmation because those people really, 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 really are sensitive when it comes to words. So, on the
Mm,
contrast of them actually accepting and receiving and loving to receive compliments and affirmations, the words other things can be very insulting to them, like "I don't care" or "Leave me alone" or "You
mm,
talk too much" or
that makes a lot of
yeah.
sense.
So
I think I'm
that
gonna be in more in that direction. I think I'm gonna be a words of affirmations type nigga.
yeah.
Because I see what I sometimes people really like. I was having this conversation with my mom. I'm like, you reckless with your words.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you just say things like just off the top of your
yeah.
like how it feels when you say it is it
Mhm,
may not be what you mean, but it's like
mhm,
it's how you felt when you say it.
yeah,
And some people don't really pay attention to those words,
yeah.
and those words are more harmful in the eyes, and the hearts of other people than it is of the people using that
Mhm.
language a lot of
Actually,
times. And so,
absolutely.
I can see
Um,
how people who uh speak the love language of words of affirmation can
mhm,
also take kind of like criticism, like harsh
yeah.
criticism,
Oh, it
or
hurts. It hurts.
or kind of like reckless language, how they could take
Hmm.
it personal. And it's like,
Absolutely, it
you
hurts.
saying that may not mean nothing to you, but it means a lot. Like it hurts me more
Absolutely.
than you think than you know what I'm saying that you think it
Absolutely.
does. So that's
Absolutely.
interesting.
So it's
Um,
basically just like one end of the spectrum to the next because they yearn for that compliment, and then the moment that you not only giving them a compliment but you're tearing them down with your words, oh man, it's like a stake going through their hearts. It's
yeah, it's a
like,
double-edged sword.
yeah,
Yeah,
it
like
is.
because
It is.
if those positive words could hit you like that,
Yeah.
shit, when they come in,
Think about the
you know what
negative.
I'm saying, straight
Absolutely.
blades, it's like, it
Absolutely.
cut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. Very much
So
appreciate.
so those are the barriers associated with words of affirmation.
Hmm.
If you were the type of person your love language is words of affirmation, you sometimes it's certain words that you just can't take personal. It's like
No.
I know you want to, and I know it's thing, but a part of understanding other people's love language is knowing that the meaning that they have when they're putting those words out there isn't the same meaning that you're applying it just because it hits you like that. So
Absolutely.
that's important. Now, the benefits. What are some of those characteristics with words of affirmation that should be embraced? That's great for people. What are some of those benefits?
Some of the benefits for the people with words of affirmation is like, I mean, like obviously longevity in a relationship is a really great benefit. For their partner to actually utilize that to, basically get, their way. Honestly, you can get your way. It'll go a long way to, and I think that is probably for me personally, and I'm probably biased. That's probably one of the simplest things that you can do as a human being is to do that. You know what I mean? To get your way,
Yeah,
to buy yourself whatever you need in a relationship. I think that's very simple. I think that's being a human to do that.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
But
yeah.
but like I said, I may be very biased when I say that.
Well, you know what? And this is again like this is why, brothers, if you just pay attention, I know you know what I mean. I know we want to play 2K and Madden and other PS5 just came out. I don't really care about niggas that play Xbox. Uh, but this is one of the things where this could be dangerous. Because if
This
you
could
got
be
you a sister,
dangerous.
if you got you a sister that you know what I'm saying that she love them words of affirmation, like Tisha here, right? If you're able to sit it down and give it that dialogue, you know what I mean? Then it's a lot easier to have other conversations. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Exactly.
like because you know a lot of times you're dealing with people. I mean, men and women. We're not gonna sit there and say, oh, brothers do this, do this. We not let's not take advantage. Let's not pervert the science. You
Mhm.
feel me? But I mean, when we come to understanding like the conversations that can be had, like if it's a sister that you understand her love language and words of affirmation is that language, being able to hold conversations. Right?
Yeah,
I know a lot of times a lot of
conversational
people
range.
can't hold conversations, but these types of people want that. They yearn for that. You know what I
Absolutely,
mean? I mean, because
absolutely,
that's why, like I said,
absolutely.
when I take the test tonight, I think I'll be in the words of affirmation category because like
I
words
think
is my
you and
shit
your wife
anyway.
should do it together. Should take
You
the
think we should
test
do it?
together.
No, no. I'm gonna do it by myself first, and then I'm gonna do it with her off air. Actually, I know her love language. We was actually just talking about it.
Oh, really?
Um, she wants her love language to be gifts, but her real love language is acts of service.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
guess that
Okay.
says a lot about me.
Yeah.
But anyway, so those are the benefits, words of affirmation. Please understand that if you're able to talk to these people nice, it go a long way. You know what
Go a
I'm
long
saying? And
way. And it will help the relationship tremendously, and
right.
also they'll be able to reciprocate your love language to you. Because if they don't feel like you're shutting them out or shutting them down, then they'll be able to reciprocate whatever your love language is for you. And it's
And
easy to pick it up too.
it's just a conversation, shit.
It
Just
is.
talk.
It is. It can just be as simple as, "Hey, I'm proud of you for, I don't know, cooking the dinner today was
Whatever. You know what I'm
amazing.
saying?
Thank
Whatever it
you.
is.
Thank
Just
you."
like, hey,
Yeah.
good job living.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Good
exactly.
job.
Like I said, this is the most simple love language of them all for me. And I may be biased. Once you hear all the rest of the four, you would understand. Like for me, this is simple. It's just basically verbal. If you're in a relationship, especially, I don't understand how this can't be, the number one thing anyway, no matter what.
Just because communication, like verbal communication, is so important in
It's,
relationships.
yeah, it is. It
Yeah.
is. Um,
So that's words of affirmation. That's the first one we get into tonight. What is the second? Look, because there's five of them. What is the
it's
second love
five
language
of them.
we touching on first? Let's get that intro.
The second one we can go to acts of service. Acts of service is the second one, and that was really cool. So acts of service is basically you talking about like your actions speak louder than words. They want to see action. They want to see you doing things around the house, like cleaning up, preparing the meal, taking out the trash. I don't know, doing the laundry, whatever, washing the dishes, whatever makes that person feel like. And I like to go as deep as like accentuating on the very thing that that person likes, like the thing that they probably complain about the most, do it. Like, you don't never take out the trash. Okay, constantly take out the trash, or you see your partner constantly doing something like preparing dinner. If you're a man and you see your wife preparing dinner all the time and her love language is acts of service, go prepare dinner one night, or buy dinner if you can't cook. So she would see that and she'd be like, wow, those are the things that she would see. Those are the acts of service, like being a service to her, being or him. Doing things that they usually do on a regular, so they will go out their way to do it, and you do it in place of that. And the person with that love language will, oh man, will be deeply and madly in love with you if you do it.
So when we talk about those acts of service, this is where those people that be like, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it's the people that's like, it's the little things, it's the little things.
Yeah, actually, yes, it's very the minuscule things. If you think about love languages and all of them is the very minuscule things that you could do in each category. It's like the very minuscule thing. It's not like it would definitely require like time and thought on your end, because if that's not your love language, you're gonna be like, you know, I was in a relationship with a guy that hated to communicate, and guess what? I hated to do. I rejected everything that his love language was acts of service. So he wanted me to do certain things and I rejected it. And I identified, I knew he loved this, but since he hated to communicate, I said, I'm not doing this. So it was all kinds of friction all the time. Well, you don't
You
do this.
so
Well, you don't do this. Well,
gay.
you don't do this. Well, you
You
don't do this. It's
gay. That's what
constantly.
I'm calling. You
Oh, I was
gay.
young, man. I was like 20, 21.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah. Okay. I mean, that's understandable. So we talking about acts of service. That's again, J. Cole had a song called, and this is why I fuck with J. Cole. It's like a lot of people shitted on this song, but I thought that, especially like being like my age, being in a relationship, he had a song called Folding Clothes.
Mm,
And it was about like him saying, I want to fold clothes for you. I want to make you feel good. Like I just want to do I just want to do the little things. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I want you to be able to chill. I want to be able to, fold clothes, do the laundry, do the dishes while you and the baby just hang out. You know what I'm saying? I may listen to
Yeah.
that in a little bit. Just
Yeah.
to remind me, you know what I mean, why I do what I do.
Absolutely.
But that's what I guess that's what we're talking about. You know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
essentially like not jumping out the window to please somebody, but more
Hmm.
so, just looking at the small everyday actions that mean and
Hmm.
add up to a whole lot. And I can see how that could be important because it's like, you know, the little things are the things that we don't think about, the things that we just kind of go every day overlooking. And so when you got
Absolutely.
somebody that's seeing those things the same way you seeing them, like, damn, I'm probably gonna have to do this, and then you look up and it's like, oh, you did it, thank
Absolutely.
you. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely.
that's a huge boost. That's a huge plus.
Hmm.
You feel me? So
Hmm.
I definitely could see how acts of service could play a large role into helping somebody feel loved. And of course, we got to get into how first those acts of service, those little things, can create some barriers. How does acts of service and communicating in that type of way? I have an idea on how I think that shit could go left or how it could create barriers for
Okay.
communication. But I definitely from the expert, we let the expert speak over here. You feel me?
I
I'm the
think
expert.
that like doing it out of obligation instead of out of love can
Mm,
create like doing it like, oh, let me just do it because they're gonna complain, or let me just do it because they keep saying it over and over, or regurgitating it, or telling me to do it, or it just have to be out of positive actions. Like you want to do it out of love, you want to do it out of it's in your spirit, is because you love that person, you know that's that person love language. Because when you do it out of obligation, or you do it with a negative tone, that's when it becomes and it transfers negative energy into your relationship, and that person will be like, well, I don't even want it done if you're going to do it this way.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
even this is the worst one you can do is praise yourself for doing it. Like, look
yeah,
what I did. Look what I did. I washed the dishes for you. You see this? Look, look, look. Allow that person to recognize that you did it, and don't be so conspicuous with what you just did. Just chill out, and that person will recognize it because it's their love language. It's inevitable. They have no way around not seeing it. So don't so much give yourself so much praise and pats on the back for doing it, because you're doing it out of love.
right. Hey, it's interesting that you say that. Because what's dope is, what's funny is that, and a lot of people don't recognize this, is that it's like twofold when it comes to like doing the little shit. It's
Hmm.
like you do the little shit and then you don't say shit about you doing the little shit. You let
Hmm.
it speak for
Hmm.
itself. You know what I mean, and it
Absolutely.
registers. It's like
Exactly.
it that's checked off regardless. And that's the
Absolutely.
problem with doing the little shit, is that you don't really, a lot of times when you do it, it's like, because it's the little shit, you don't get the praise as if you just bought like a
Yeah.
diamond ring or some shit. But at the
Exactly.
same time, it registers as like, appreciated.
Yeah.
And that goes a lot further, because then when it's reciprocated, it's like it's done because it's like, yo, I saw that, and
Yeah.
that meant a lot.
Yeah.
I ain't
Yeah.
say nothing, but it meant a lot.
Yeah.
And
And these
that's
little
what people
things are connected to I like to think of a relationship as a golden link. And these are all the golden links into your relationship that's going to keep that chain together. So it's all going to help your relationship just be stronger, and it's all going to be connected to something great, and that's your relationship. And I think that, like when you're mentioning the registering and all that, I think it will register to someone with that love language as you doing something grand for them.
And even if they don't say it. Now,
Yeah, even if they don't acknowledge it.
where I think people with this love language kind of run into problems is that, for example, the little, like, you're doing the little things because you want those things to be like, you know that those things matter, right? And
Hmm.
you want them, what I'm saying? And the issue with people who communicate that, like, that type of love language, is that because it's the, like we just talked about, because it's the little things, it doesn't get the pomp and circumstance that, like, the larger shit gets. Like, oh my god, no, like, nobody's gonna say,
Mm,
oh my god, you did the
yeah,
dishes. Oh
yeah,
my god, you cleaned the
yeah.
house. Oh my
Like,
god, you did the
oh
laundry.
my
Nobody's gonna say
God.
that,
Right.
even though
Yeah.
it means a lot. You know what I'm saying? Even
Hmm.
though it means a lot, and because nobody will say that, you'll feel like people who show their love through acts of service will feel like they're not appreciated, or they aren't
Absolutely.
getting any respect, because it's
Absolutely.
like, why aren't, like, listen, this is how I'm showing you I love you. And if you
Hmm.
got somebody else who communicates love differently, like, for example, gifts, like your actions, right? You're doing all of these actions, and they're wanting gifts. You're
Hmm.
gonna feel like, well, what, like, fuck, like, everything I've been doing just don't mean shit.
Right,
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
That's a good point that you made. That is really good point. And that's why it's so important to know the love languages, because you may be doing things you may be doing things out of your love language, and that person, it will not praise it as much as you praise it. So your love language, like you mentioned, may be receiving gifts. So you think that you want to project it onto your partner, so you start buying them gifts and they don't praise it, and you like, well, wait, I just
Right,
but I just did all this and I didn't get a grand performance. I didn't get a thank you. I didn't get a social media shout out or anything. But that's not their
right.
love language. So, it's
Yeah,
just like
it don't register the
it
same
don't
way.
register in the same way. So it's like, and that's me. I receive a gift. I'm like, thanks. And you might not get a shout out on Facebook because I'm thinking like, my thought, I'm a very appreciative person. No matter what, I would thank that person, but it may not be a whole parade. It was
Yeah.
like, okay, cool.
What are some of the benefits, though, of people who communicate, and receive love through acts of service?
I think reciprocating, them being able to reciprocate it, and I think ultimately that's for all the love languages, as I mentioned previously, that reciprocating that is the same type of energy towards them, and getting things done and keeping things fresh, and like for that partner or that person that's actually performing the act on that person to actually really, really like identify what it is to compromise or to go out of your way in the name of love. To see that this may not be something that I want to do, but I just made my partner extremely happy. And I took some load off of my partner, because I think that also in that particular one, you're actually taking some load off of that person, because you know acts of services is basically, being a service. It's not so much as buying them things and doing things, it's actually servicing them. And most of the time, those people just want small things like meals and laundry done. Like, oh man, I got a whole load to do. Like, my thing is, I had a guy. He used to always take my car to go put gas in it before I left, and start it up in the mornings when it was cold outside. And like, if I had to go to work at 4 a.m., he'll get up and start my car and make sure it's warm when I got in there. Those type of things for people with
That
active
nigga loved
service
you.
will, yeah, it was amazing. Yeah, my work schedule is crazy. Sometimes I have to be at work at 4:30 in the morning, but um, or 6:30 in the morning or something weird like that. But yeah, it's just really, really, really those type of things, for someone with that love language would really, really admire, and it'll go a long way. Those are really great benefits for both parties working together.
Yeah, and I mean, I think when we talk about those benefits, it's just like everybody appreciates not having like having one less thing to worry about.
Exactly.
Like if I could have
Yeah.
one less thing to trip off of, and
Mhm.
somebody else doing something else for you, like anytime somebody's like, "Yeah, no, I take care of it. Don't even worry about it."
Mhm.
Like especially somebody like with a busy day, if
Mhm.
you got a partner that crazy work schedule. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Specifically, I know my wife's job is a little bit more demanding than mine. And so, she comes home with a lot on her mind. The first thing she wants to do is when she comes home, she just want to
Absolutely.
vent. And so a lot of times it was like it wasn't just about listening to her vent. It's like, yeah, we both got shit to do, but let me do this so you ain't gotta worry about it. You know what I'm saying? Let me take care of this so you ain't gotta worry about it.
That's
And
lovely.
having that just like one less thing to be like, all right, cool, that's off the list. Bet somebody took care of
Mhm.
that for me. It mean a lot. You know what I'm saying? And so like, that those types of things goes a long way. And even though it may not be immediately understood, like the benefit of what's being said or what's being done, I definitely think that it matters when it counts. The acts of
Mhm.
service matter when it counts. I mean, I think all of
Mhm.
them, to a degree, matter when it counts. But it was acts of service specifically because it's definitely you getting a delayed gratification. It's
Absolutely.
like somebody with a busy schedule. If you're able to take care of something for them, because
Mhm.
they busy, they not. It's not gonna be an immediate like, oh man, I gotta take you. You know what I mean? Whatever. They're gonna come back after they done got everything else settled and be like, yo, the fact that you was able to take care of that for me, that went a long way. So
Absolutely.
um that's the
Absolutely.
benefits of acts of service. Now I want to
Mhm.
get through another one. I want to get through another one, and then I want to take my test before we do the last two.
Okay. All right.
So what is the next act of love language you wanna talk about?
The next love language is receiving gifts. Receiving gifts is
Yeah.
the next one. I think that one is very, I think that one is a lot of people's. Um, I actually did a Facebook post earlier today and I asked my friends on Facebook what's their love language. A lot of people chose receiving gifts and a lot of people chose acts of service as theirs. And it's a big misconception with receiving gifts and acts of service. Oftentimes, people think that acts of service is giving them things, as far as like you know, fulfilling them with a gift or something like that, or being a service in that area. But it's totally different. But the acts of service love language is just basically it isn't necessarily materialistically things. It's just not being materialistic. It's just like being thoughtful, like something thoughtful, like a rose to your partner. Or something like their favorite candy at the store, like, oh baby, I got your favorite chocolate. Or it can be something like I don't know. This is totally not my love language, but it doesn't always have to be something grand like a ring or some shoes or a purse or, it doesn't have to be that. It could just be something to show that person, like, man, I care about you. And I remember, which this is totally not my love language, but I had a guy in my senior year in high school. He literally stopped by Quick Trip every day and bought me a rose to school and
That's
put it in
funny.
my locker. And it was the most beautiful thing that anyone can ever think of doing, but he never missed a
I bet you
gift
don't remember his
ever.
name. What was his name? What
I
was his
most
name?
definitely remember his name.
Yeah, I bet you won't
I
say it on
am
Facebook.
not gonna say his
I bet
name,
you ain't gonna
but
say it on Facebook.
stop. I'm not going to say his name, but I thought that was the most beautiful thing in the world to do. But that's one of the things that a person with that love language would actually admire in someone. It's just like those things is meaningful and showing that partner that they feel loved and appreciated.
Yeah, this is the one where I think everybody wants this to be their love language.
Probably, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody wants their love
Probably,
language to be
yes,
receiving gifts, goddamn it. Because
yes.
everybody like receiving. Actually, not me. I'm not a big gift person.
I like
I'm
to
not.
buy gifts for people, but I'm not caring about. I can buy it for myself. That's how I think about it. Like I don't think
Yeah,
people
I mean, yeah,
really.
I like buying gifts as
Yeah.
well. But in terms of like for me receiving gifts, it's just like nah. I mean, because it's like when it comes to gifts for me, it's like I want what I want. You know what I'm saying? I don't want what somebody think I want. Like,
That's
you
how I think. That's what I'm saying. I'd be like, I can buy what I want for me because I don't think people know me enough to buy a
yeah,
gift
like
that
you
I
don't know, like
want.
right? Like it's like I'm always surprised when somebody gives me a gift that I
I
actually want. Like it
know.
was something
I
that I was like,
know. I
oh,
do
thank
too.
you.
Yeah.
Like nah,
I
use it.
remember.
I mean, even though it's not hard to gift for me,
Uh-huh.
people just think I need shit that I don't think I need.
Yeah, I
You know what
remember
I'm
one
saying?
Christmas, my mom bought me this cashmere long trench coat, and I was like a junior in high school, and this was not my thing then. Maybe for a corporate woman that's 28 years old, but
Right.
this cashmere coat is what my mom kept. She was so excited, telling me I love my gift, I love my gift, and at that time I was into my fashion, and I was just like so anxious to open my Christmas gift. When I opened this gift, I cried. I was so livid that my mom got me a cashmere coat, like I really cared for it. And it is like it was a long coat. It was what you call those coat?
A trench coat?
Trench coat. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Or pea coat.
You had a cashmere trench coat?
It was a pea coat. It was yeah, it was one of those pea coats where it was cashmere.
Raincoats.
It was so bad. It was so bad. My mom was just like excited, and then like I was so mad. She ended up taking it back. She was just like, "Well, give it here." Like I just my face just said it all, and I just was so bad with. I just knew then that I wasn't good at receiving gifts, so I just kind of was like, "Please just don't buy me anything," because I know I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
nah,
do
I ain't
well with
never
it.
been like that.
Yeah,
I ain't
I was probably real ungrateful then, but I just knew then that receiving gifts was not my strong suit.
That's funny. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's actually a great segue into the barriers associated with receiving gifts. Great segue into the barriers
Yeah, that is
associated with
one.
receiving gifts. What are some of the issues
Some
that
issues.
people with this love language run into, and the people that love them, the issues that they run into?
Yeah, like I mentioned with that story, just like getting them the wrong thing or not associating the gift with what they actually who they are. You know what I mean? Like some people like you said, the love languages is based off the small things, the little things. All of them are supposed to be the little things. It's not the grand things. You save that for other parts, like birthdays, Christmases, and stuff for the relationship. But these are the little things you do every day, or sporadically, that will make the relationship, keep being strong or get stronger or whatever. But little things like not associating things like a favorite ice cream or something could be your partner that has the receiving gift love language, and you go get some ice cream and it's not the favorite ice cream. You just did it because you just you know felt like, hey, I'm just go do this, whatever. And it feels like something like almost obligation, or not being able to actually do those small things, thinking that you have to do something grand, thinking that it has to be big, like, oh man, I can't buy her a ring, so I'm not going to do anything at all, or I can't buy her the shoes she wants,
Ooh, that's a
so
good
I'm
one.
not gonna do
I can't get her
anything
no
for
red
her.
bottom. It's
Yeah,
for the
yes,
DSW
yeah, but
Designer
they're
Shoe
so
Warehouse.
focused on the big things where they can just be doing something small, like getting her favorite or his favorite candy. Or I dated someone with their love language was receiving gifts. I bought a wallet. I actually went online and I made a person a book, and I had all their photos in it. It was a photo book. Book cost me $15 to make. It was things like that I did because that person's love language was like that, and I knew that the small things was the things that matter. The small things was, buying them a crystal bracelet or buying them some crystals or whatever the person is into.
Yeah.
Do that. It don't necessarily have to be something expensive or out of the ordinary for them to fall deeply in love with you.
You know what? I also think I think a barrier associated with it is just the idea that like is it a thin line between having like a gift, like understanding it from like the gift, like in terms of understanding like thoughtfulness
Mm.
and gold digger.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
oh,
It's a thin line because it's like, oh, my love language is gifts. Yeah, because you want a nigga to buy you some shit.
yeah,
That ain't necessarily,
yeah,
or you want a sister to buy you some shit. That ain't necessarily about love. You just want some
yeah.
shit.
So
I
yeah,
mean, and
you gotta watch out for that.
yeah, and it definitely could easily turn into, you know, if somebody really care about you and you like, my love language is gifts. My love language is gifts. When the gifts aren't really turning into you creating affection for somebody, you just want some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that shit is that's some sadistic shit. You know what I
It
mean?
is.
That's like
It is.
that's next level taking advantage of somebody. And this is why
Mm-hmm.
these sciences, you know, these more metaphysical conversations like love and understanding that type of shit, it get dangerous because when you able to understand like we talk about with these love languages and shit, when you able to understand that, you able to manipulate you can manipulate
Mm-hmm.
people. And the
Absolutely.
easiest way to get greed out of the love
Mm-hmm.
languages is to be like, my love language is gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody that want to take care of you, or that wants you to understand how much they love you, they gonna break bread.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that could go left easily.
It can.
So those are
It
the
can.
barriers.
Absolutely. That is a huge barrier. That's
Let's
good
talk
that you
or
said
let's
that.
talk about the benefits. Let's get into
The
some
benefits.
positivity.
Yes, let's raise some minute. Let's raise some vibrations in here. Some great benefits for someone receiving gifts, or someone with that love language. I'm sorry, for receiving gifts. Obviously, the most obvious one. Um, for both parties, and I think that it goes back to what you mentioned. Like, you have to make sure that that person is not associating receiving gifts to something like a trip or something to Dubai, and being so materialistic with it. Uh, I think that those that transpire, but also the benefits is that you actually get to enjoy whatever it is too, that you do with that person. I think that uh, who's ever the one that's actually buying it, I think they get to enjoy pieces of what they did with that person as well. You know what I mean? Ice cream, you get to enjoy it. I mean, most of the time, you get to enjoy the actual gift giving with that person. You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the great benefits. And
I think getting to understand like being a gift giver, most people who are gift givers are good gift givers.
really,
Yeah, I
nah, you
think
gotta talk to my mom.
yeah. Is your mom a gift giver? She gives a lot of gifts. If she's not
I
good at
don't
it,
know if she actually labor
you know,
herself. I hope
I guess you
if
just say
she
easy.
look, if she do labor herself like that, we got some conversations to have. Cause I'm gonna remind her of that gift.
I guess I'm just an easier person to give gifts to,
Nah,
because like
I got some bad gifts before though.
from gift. I
I
mean, when it's like people who like giving gifts though.
I was about to say, well, but that's what I'm saying. You said the people that like giving gifts are really good gift givers, and I got some bad gifts from people, and these people could, I'm sure they consider themselves as
Gift
nice givers.
givers, yeah, yeah,
But
that's
I
funny. I
give
mean,
good gifts. I think I give good gifts because I pay attention so intrinsically and so direct to people. Like, I remember one
yeah.
time I have a best friend. She literally loved Family Feud this year, and like
Which best
she
friend
was
is
so
this?
stuck on
She got a
it.
bunch of best friends. Which best friend is this?
I only have four best friends,
That's a
and
bunch.
that is a bunch.
You got a
Dang,
gang of
no,
best friends like a motherfucker.
no, I only have four. These four has been down for like almost 20 years.
Okay,
So yeah, but this is my best friend Sade. She was the one on the show.
that's why I was asking.
Yeah,
Shout
the
out to Sade.
counselor. Yeah, shout out to Sade. But yeah, I bought her Family Feud. She was in, and I bought her this game. It was like at the time, this game was like 40, $50 at the time. But this game was
You
the
spend
only
money on your
gift that
friends.
yeah, she was in love with this game, and I pay attention to things like that, you know. And one time I bought this guy. At this time, this is when the three wells was like nice, the rims that kept spinning.
Yeah.
So I
You
bought
bought a
this
nigga some
guy.
spree wells?
No, not spree word. But
Oh
yes,
boy,
yes.
I
Let
was
me, let
about
me.
to
I
say,
did buy
God
him some spree
damn,
wells,
that's your
but
love
it was
language like a motherfucker.
no. I did buy him some spree wells, but it was a spree well watch. So it was a watch that had
That's
like the spinning face to it.
listen. That's why you single. Stop buying nigga shit from the mall. Like if it's in the middle of the mall, if it got a store, then maybe. But if it's in the middle of the mall, leave that shit
I was
alone.
in high school. This was when it was popping, though. I was in high school, so of course I
Right,
ain't have
right,
money to
right.
buy like
That's
a
that's a good
Rolex or
that's a
anything.
viable excuse. I give you that.
Yeah, I was a junior in high school, but he loved it though, and
Yeah,
I bought him
because if
roses.
your grown
I'm a
ass
rose
look, you about to
buyer.
be you 33, you about to be 33. Cause you
Yeah,
younger
nah,
than me,
I'm
you about
not.
to be
I'm not.
33.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
buying middle of the
you still
mall
buying
dude.
nigga shit in the middle of the mall.
I'm not
Yeah.
buying what is the
Love languages,
pagoda?
gifts is
Pagoda?
not your love language like a motherfucker. That's not it. Uh, um, what I'll
Yeah,
say is
no.
the benefit real quick is just like it's the like one thing my wife says, she lets me know is like it's a small like just like with the acts of service, it don't gotta be nigga, you ain't gotta buy, you know what I'm saying, buy out the store, buy out the bar, just something. Like because I think the biggest benefit of the gift love language
Mhm.
is just the thoughtfulness of it. Like
Mm,
this made me think of you, so I bought it.
mm,
You know what
yeah,
I'm saying? I wanted you to
absolutely,
have this because you know what I mean that connection that we had. You know what I mean?
absolutely,
And
absolutely.
that's where like that type of significance goes a long way. That
Mhm,
gift givers, and that's why I said that most people who speak that, from my experience, who speak
mhm,
that gift giving language, do it
mhm.
well. Primarily
Absolutely.
because I like either two things, either in like something that got to do with video games, because I love video games. So if you buy me something for my PlayStation or buy me a PlayStation, that's a great gift from me. But also, I also like
Hold on. You talking about the gifts that don't have to be big.
hey,
PlayStation's
I'm just
running
saying.
around 700, 5, 6, 700.
But also the idea that just something useful. You know what I mean? I remember one time my wife bought me a money clip. Like
Mm.
early on when we started dating, she bought me a money clip, and I was like, huh, because she knew I didn't have a wallet. I was broke when we first started dating, so like I kept my shit in pockets. It was in, you know what I'm saying. We ain't gonna get into them days. We'll say that for another. But to real quick, you know what I'm saying, before we get into the last two, I want to go ahead and take this test. I want to take
Okay.
this love language test. Y'all gonna take this journey with me.
Okay.
We are about
You
to
put this
learn my
out
love.
there.
All right, love language quiz 2020. Let's just make sure. Okay, we there? We seeing what we doing? All right. This white woman
Yep.
cheesing at me. I don't know what that's gonna get me into, but let's
What is that,
begin.
Pornhub? No, I'm just
Look, hey, so let me put in my name here. All right. I don't know I would have to do that. For each statement, select the one. I hope this test don't take forever. Well, putting in my name was 14% complete, so
Oh,
it
okay.
shouldn't
That's
take that
good.
long.
Yeah. Yeah.
If for each set of statements, select one answer that best describes your preferred way of being treated in a relationship. I feel loved when people do things to help me. I get a loving hug or embrace from someone I care about. People show me they are thinking about me by getting me a small gift. People say nice things about me. People want to spend time with me.
Hmm.
Hmm. I think I'm a time spender, nigga. Spend some time with me.
Yeah, time spending nigga. Oh
When
man,
you
what
are
a
celebrating your
romantic.
birthday, which of the following sounds best to you? I want everyone in my life to write me a special birthday card, a nice shoulder massage, or big hugs from everyone I love. I want everybody rubbing my shoulders, goddamn it. I want someone to do all my chores and errands for 1 week, a birthday gift, especially picked out for me. No one needs to buy me anything, just want to spend time with the people I care about. Yeah, I think that sounds about right. I think we're developing a
And another
trend
thing,
here.
and another thing we have to really, really understand is what we've been used to in our entire life, but deep down inside what we actually desire. Because oftentimes people with a loved one that are receiving gifts may not ever receive gifts, so they just was like, whatever, I'm never gonna receive it. But deep down inside, their desire is to receive gifts all the time, or they get upset when they don't receive gifts.
Yeah,
So people gotta
it's
really understand that it's very important to not be unwavering with your love language. Someone would actually be there to actually, accommodate that love language.
Let's see. My ideal day is getting things done or doing a special project, going shopping. I hate shopping. Having a long, deep conversation with someone I care about, getting a massage, or spending leisurely time with friends and family. I like having long, deep conversations. I
Mhm.
do that often. Shout out to Solar Vision Debate League because I do a lot of long, deep conversations, and we do deep conversations over here too. And on the chop up, I'm a deep conversation ass nigga. Like I
Yeah.
be, I talk. I like
Yeah.
talking to people. I appreciate someone by spending the afternoon with them, doing something nice for them, saying nice things to them, buying someone a token of appreciation, giving them a high five, fist bump, or a hug. I like to do something nice for people I fuck with. Yeah, yeah. I'll do something nice. When I have a bad day, the thing that will help me the most is a big hug, spending time with loved ones or friends, having someone make me dinner, treating myself to that special item I've been wanting, commiserating and talking it through with someone I trust. Yeah, I like to do that. If I'd
Right.
had a
See what
fucked
your
up
love
day,
language
like I want to
is.
let a nigga know, like, hey, bro, you know what I'm saying?
Like,
I don't like putting it on my wife. Well, sometimes I put it on my wife, but
mhm,
I like to, I like to vent. Once
mhm,
I get it out, I'm cool.
yeah.
I ain't really be tripping. Maybe I'm letting y'all know too much. Niggas done read my natal chart. Now y'all see my love language. I think I'm opening it a bit too much for y'all.
You're open book.
Uh, I ain't trying to be shit. Look, like what I
Yeah.
do for the show, what I do for the
Yeah, the
podcast.
things that you do. We
So we
appreciate it.
86% complete. So everybody that has stuck around so far, I appreciate you.
We
Would
truly
you like to
appreciate
receive your personalized results by email? Wait,
it.
no.
Just right now,
Oh,
just
that's it.
generate them. Oh, cool.
That was it. I am an acts of service type nigga. Okay.
Oh, wow. Acts of service. I could have sworn it was going to be words of affirmation.
Me too.
Wow,
Me
acts of
too.
service.
But you know what?
Okay.
I think a more in depth. But see, I don't really like for people to do shit for me. I don't trust this because I
Right.
don't because I do think I think it's a duality to it. I think it's levels to it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I think as much as I like to show love through acts of service,
Hmm.
but the way that I like to receive love is I think through words of affirmation.
So
Um,
often, times people really, and I want to say this, before I forget, people have to understand how the five love language work. They are not saying that all of them are not important to you. You just have one that's really
their
important. So you
degree.
might, yeah, they're degrees, so they're associated with numbers. So you might have like an 10 in acts of service, but you may have an 8 with words of affirmation, or in a 6 in receiving gifts, and so on and so forth. So is not saying or eradicating all the other love languages from your actual love language. It's just saying one of them is more important than the others, and then the other ones fall in line from there. So,
Right. Listen, I'm gonna say this. I don't know what it is. Tisha been working this voodoo magic on me, and she using me in all my business to do this damn podcast, and it's kind of starting to dawn on me. You feel me? Because it's like I'm putting all my business. Y'all know my love language. Y'all know my natal chart.
look,
Shit, I next thing y'all gonna be on my ancestry motherfucking
hey,
DNA, trying to figure out my.
that's
But
funny.
on the surface level, it appears that one of my love languages is acts of service. Um, I don't know how they could figure that out in 5 questions, so I don't trust it
Yeah,
as much. But
absolutely.
it's a little bit of insight. I do appreciate a little bit of insight into the conversation. But we do got two more that we're gonna finish off with tonight. What is the next love language that we speaking on?
Thank you
So
for
so
that.
far
That's
we've
actually
knocked out gifts, we've knocked
um
out acts of service, and we knocked out words of affirmation. What's the next
absolutely.
one?
So the fourth one is quality time.
Quality
And
time.
yeah, absolutely. So
Quality
quality
time.
time.
Shout out to the homie Melvin. He said look, Tisha, people paying attention. You know what I'm saying? He said he realized that I was being used
The whole time.
when we did today.
Melvin, we're not using him. I mean, maybe in a little sense, he's a little he's the test. We have to all have like someone that proves that these theories are correct. And the political plug is awesome in this aspect. So,
Yeah, I guess.
um, but
Shout out
the
to
fourth.
Melvin tuning in from YouTube. Shout out to everybody that's watching from Facebook. But we getting into that. We getting into the fourth, and that is you said quality time.
Quality time, absolutely. We're actually
Quality
doing
time. Let's
the
get into
love
quality time.
languages. And we're doing the fourth one now. So there's five love languages. We're on the fourth one, which is quality time. And quality time just basically says that you are the center of attention. You have my undivided, total, and utter, complete attention. I shut off my phone. I turn out my social media. No distractions all around me. It's all about you and whatever you want to do. And oftentimes those people may just want to watch a movie with you, may want to feel comfortable in a relationship, as far as like you always just like giving them your attention, like when they speak to you, you're not looking down at your phone and you're not distracted in any way, because those things get to people that have that love language. So it's very important that those people see that you giving them their undivided and making them the center of your attention.
You know what? What's funny about that? What's funny about that is like spending quality time when we first went, like when you was kind of describing all of it, right? Me and my wife actually just had this new this it was a more recent engagement
Hmm.
where whenever she came in the room, she really don't like video games. I love video games. That's like my pastime. I rather play the game than watch TV.
Hmm.
Uh, so if I'm like if it's my idle time, I'm gonna pick up the game instead of like turning on to see what's on TV. But when she comes in the room, I turn it off. I
That's amazing.
like because with PlayStation, if you hit that middle button, if you pause it, hit that middle button. Because I don't
Hmm.
really play online games, so like
Hmm.
I play games that you can pause. And to her, she thought that I was I was trying to
Hiding
sneak
something.
it,
Yeah.
right. But it was more that I had to explain to her. I was like, nah, like when you come in the room, I want you to know that you got my undivided attention.
Oh,
So I
that's
could be playing the
beautiful.
game, but if I pause it and put it down, that's because there's no competition here. Like, and that's why I think one of my higher rated love languages is that quality time that matters to me. And that's why actually I think acts of service is more so how I communicate love, but
Hmm.
I think words of affirmation and quality time are more important to me. I'm not the type of nigga that like to sit around and motherfuckers just be on their phones.
Hmm.
Like if we all sitting around and everybody looking down on their phone, that bothers.
Yeah, it'll bother you. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, someone
that
with that love language quality time, they can be extremely hurtful to them if someone is not like showing them attention, or if they like cancel plans, if they postpone things, if they not making them feel like their attention is on them, or like you said, playing video games while they're talking, or looking at their phone while they want to spend time, or just any type of little distraction will hurt them, because it makes that person feel like whatever it is that you're doing or whatever it is that you have going on is more important than them.
yes,
So,
and I can see how that's disrespectful.
mhm.
So coming off of that understanding, what are some of the barriers associated with people who communicate through quality time?
Them not feeling comfortable in a relationship. Just basically canceling things, and like I mentioned, making them feel like something is more important than them. Not placing any attention on them because they like your attention, and you rather watch TV, or be on your phone, or go out with your friends, and whatever it is that you probably constantly do or could do at another time, you put that in place of spending time with them, and it'll be very hurtful for them. It'll be very destroying for them. So
I can see that. Specifically when you got other people who communicate through different love languages. I think the quality time is one that takes more effort.
I think so. I think so.
Because it's
I
like
think so.
you do have to stop everything else and focus on the individual
Hmm.
because that time means something to them. I go in and out of that,
Definitely.
but that's definitely a large barrier when you're dealing with the other love languages because when you're thinking that there's one thing that's satisfying a particular need or a demand, like okay, I bought you this, so
Hmm.
I can't spend time with you, but I bought you this, so this should make up
Absolutely.
for that.
Yeah.
That creates a much bigger divide than one would
Hmm.
think, right?
Hmm.
Because you think that all right, me buying something at least takes up for some of it, but nah, like that's not it. That's none of it. you
Hmm.
like you ain't even need to buy it. Like the time and,
Absolutely.
the presence is more important. So
Hmm.
that I think quality time definitely has a higher threshold for what it takes to meet them on that level beyond everything else.
I
But
am. Oh, go
the
ahead.
benefits though. Let's get
uh,
into them benefits.
They really great benefits, and I think that one of the biggest benefit is actually you guys get to spend more time together, getting to know each other's love language. And watching movies together. I think
Mm.
this is a dual benefit.
Netflix and chilling.
Yeah, absolutely. And like it's very imperative that you really understand the love language in this quality because I suck at this. I suck terribly at quality time. I think if this is anybody love language, I will lose them. Like I am a
Yeah, this
loner.
big
I
for
like,
me.
yeah, I like to be alone. I like to chill by myself. I like to hang out with just me. I don't really have to have a lot of people around. I don't really have to be with my significant other all the time. And if this is his, I probably suck at this. I'm like, I just probably want to just go read a book.
Yeah, it's
Like,
that.
yeah.
This mean a lot for me because I mean, but it just a little bit of time go a long way though. You know what I
It
mean?
does.
Like it's
I like
like
watching a
just
movie. I definitely can watch a movie. This would be a challenge for me. This would definitely be a challenge, especially because I think if it is that person's love language, it'll be more magnified. So for that person, it will be needed a lot more from me, and I think it'll be a challenge for me. So
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
and when
I
you know
mean,
them.
I hate to say it, but I'm a clingy nigga, boy.
Oh
Like, don't get
man, I mean you're a
like that.
Scorpio, of course you are.
But look, because I'm a Scorpio, I like to act like I'm not though. I like to act like I'm not. I
You
even
know
tell
what's
myself
funny?
that I'm not. But like, well, look,
Yeah,
I'm
absolutely.
clingy though. Where you at? Like, am I gonna see
Yeah.
you today? You know what I'm saying? What's up? See you today? What's going on? That's why, but
Right.
like, even with my wife, like, shit, I'm the type to be like, where you? Shit, you been gone for an hour. When you coming back? When you coming home? God damn it.
Right. Yeah,
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
it's good, but that'd probably be a challenge for me personally. But yeah, the pros will be like actually spending a lot of quality time together, getting to know each other on deeper levels. And then I think it's very healthy for a relationship to actually cut out the distractions and focus on a relationship sometimes. Turn off
Yeah,
social
to take
media for
that
a little
pause, man.
while.
To take that
Yeah.
pause and just focus on, yeah, focus on
Yeah.
y'all.
I think you guys can grow a lot better and a lot healthier if all the distractions from social media platforms and uh, friends hanging out and parties and all these things that could distract you from a relationship. If you guys actually spending time together, you guys will grow. So that's a really great benefit to have in any relationship. Even if it
Great.
isn't the love language of the relationship, I think it's a really good benefit to incorporate in your relationship.
All right, so we got the last one. So
The
we got quality
last
time.
one.
Uh,
You want to run them all
what?
down before we start?
All right, so just to give y'all a quick rundown for everybody that's been with us, we've started with words of affirmation, moved on to receiving gifts, went on to acts of service,
Mhm.
followed up with uh the one we just did, which
Quality
was quality
time.
time,
There you go.
And the last that we're gonna touch on this evening
So the
is
last one is physical touch.
touch.
Get on, get on,
Physical
get.
shit,
No, I'm just.
getting down with the get down. Okay.
No,
Yeah.
physical touch is not sexual, of course. Of course, you guys thinking that. No, it's not. It's not. It's not sexual. Get that out your head. Get that out your mind. We're not talking like that. We're talking about give me a little kiss here and there. Give me a hug. Let me spoon you in the bed. Because that's what the kids say these days. Spooning is,
Please do not be talking about spooning,
Hey, they do be
goddammit.
talking about. I mean, not the kids, but it's cuddling. That's what spooning is, right? Right? Please say that's what it is. Please say that's what spooning is.
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay. It's
cuddling.
cuddling.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
cool,
yeah,
cool. I'm
yeah,
just
it's
curious.
cuddling.
Oh
Yeah,
gosh, I
yeah.
thought I was saying something crazy. All right, so look, this is basically physical touch. Is basically not so much as PDA, which is public display of affection, but a little bit of that, a little bit of kissing and hugging and coming behind the woman and rubbing on her and making her feel like she's wanted and loved, making her
All of
feel
the
like,
shit, all of the
yeah,
shit that the good nigga in the Tyler Perry movies. You got the nigga that treat a woman like shit, but then you
yeah,
know how the good nigga in the Tyler Perry movies, all the shit that he do.
yeah, it makes her feel secure, makes her feel safe, or most oftentimes this is a woman's, but men love physical touch as well. They like to cuddle, they like a woman's to be very close to them, very close to their heart, to lay on their chest, to
All right, keep going. I'm still
rub their
here.
head.
I gotta get my charger for my computer. Keep going though.
Okay. All right. Sure thing. They like the woman to rub on their head and whatever, rub on their belly, or any type of touch. It makes them feel connected. It makes them feel safe. It makes them feel like they're wanted in those type of areas. So somebody with that love language will love, love, love that, and you will often see it because I think for me. Physical touch is pretty much the most obvious one that a person would like. I think it's super, super obvious for someone to identify physical touch as a love language. I think that's really, really obvious. So for me, that is like goes, because I see like a man or a woman, they touchy, touchy, touchy all the time. Like I think my daughter, for instance, her love language is physical touch because she loves to hug, loves to hold my hand, always want to cuddle. Like we'll be watching a movie, she'll put her feet on me, she'll want to snuggle up next to you, and I'm so not a physical touch person. I'm just like let me get some space. But for people like that, they love, love, love to be touched, love the warmth of someone else's body, and love that person's impact, and physically to be close and connected with them. So I think that that's a really great love language to have in a relationship. It is very difficult for people to consistently do that. So especially for me. To consistently have that type of love language. Um, we're waiting on political plug to get back, and we are talking about the fifth love language, which is physical touch. Physical touch. He's charging up his computer. Yeah, but physical touch is for me. It has to be like the least favorite one for me. If I had to like narrow it down, I think if when I did my test for love language, I think that was the last one of the five love languages. I think that was the last one for me on my list. Um, I don't require much. I think physical touch for me is pretty much black and white. I'll probably cuddle for like 10, 15 minutes and then I want to move around and get comfortable. I think cuddling is extremely uncomfortable. But hey, that's me. What do you guys think? Is anybody on here?
All right, I'm back in the mix.
Back in the mix.
Yeah.
I just broke it down for them real good.
Okay.
The physical touch,
Did you
yeah.
get into the
No, I
barrier?
wanted to wait until you get back so you can give me that.
Okay. Let's do it. Let's get into the barriers. When you got that physical touch, when you need to be touched, what are the barriers that gets in the way of that?
Man, very. I'm sorry. The barriers that get in the way of that would be making them feel unloved if they don't have it, making them feel disconnected with you if they don't have it. Oftentimes, this right here can be like the leading cause of someone thinking or believing that you're attracted to someone else or you're unattracted to them.
Mm.
This love language could be like, do you not love me? Is it something like it really raise insecurities in the person? Like, what is it? Like, you don't want me to be bothered with me. You don't want to, like, it will raise so many suspicions. So someone this love language is very can be very insecure because if they're not receiving it, all the insecurities will go haywire as far as like,
Mm.
man, do you love me? Do you not think I'm attractive? Do you not want to be bothered with me? I mean, it raise all these questions and make them
A
feel
lot of
disconnected.
doubts. A
Yeah,
lot of
yeah, a
doubts.
lot of doubts. Yeah.
And I think these last two that you introduced are the ones that require the most effort. Like
I
these are
think
things
so.
that because it's because some of them are like some people's personalities just not that, and it may not even be that it's not that about you. It's just not the time. Like I know early on when me and my wife first started dating, she was not like a PDA type woman at all, which I wasn't tripping. I didn't give a fuck. Like you know what I'm saying? Like whether or not we was able all up on each other. Like I would want to just like a quick kiss or hold hand, whatever. But that just wasn't her. I mean, she wasn't like the type to do that in front of people, in front of her friends. But
Mhm.
as we got older and our relationship began to flourish and it began to grow, then she became more like that. She wanted to hold more of hands. It was more of a thing that she wanted to do. So
Mm.
it could definitely create a lot of confusion. Kind of like
Mhm.
similarly to words of affirmation. Like if it's little, it's subtle,
Mhm.
but either like doing it the wrong way, either way, creates a lot of problems. So yeah,
Absolutely.
the bar is definitely higher for people who move like that.
Absolutely.
And it take that effort. And some people it's just like physically, it's just not me. I'm just not that
Absolutely.
person. And that's important to understand when you're going into a relationship. But we can get into this last benefit, the benefit of being touched and loved and somebody hugging and kissing and PDA and all of that. What are the
Oh
benefits
man.
to that love language?
I think the benefits are really great. I think it will raise pheromones in your body. It will give you some type of connection with that person. Um, Physical connection is always good because it can lead to other things, other great things, other amazing things, other magnificent things. You guys can get you guys can get
Yeah,
the
hey,
real.
like what the
Hey, this
touching.
is the over 30. This is the over
You're right.
30.
We
Hey,
grown people. You know what I'm
yes,
saying?
yes, yes.
If you know how to do the right things subtly, because we not talking about you know what I mean like you in the mall smack my ass. You know what I'm saying? Like nah,
Exactly,
it's more so like
exactly.
the subtle, the gentle, the closeness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that
Absolutely.
that's displayed by that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Shout out to the homie Ig. He said, my homie Iggy he said, wow, I love to cuddle. The barrier is a lack of trust, but a good convo could reinforce that trust that moves cuddling to from the thing before sex or how we can just chill.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that 100% like that trust issue because it's just like I don't really know. Like I mean, yeah, I fuck with you, but we in front of people. You know what I'm saying?
Right, 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 right,
That's
right.
definitely a
Mm-hmm.
trust issue. But
Absolutely.
when we get more in it, when you have that comfortability with somebody to where that like the touching aspect of the relationship, and again, we're not talking about bumping grinding. We know
Right.
that that's wholesome.
Yeah.
That's for a whole nother show.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody loves languages is bump and grinding, but you got a different type of bump and grind love language.
Yeah.
Everybody don't bump and grind the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, but that's again, that's for another show.
It's
This is
fun.
the more G-rated. It's the more G-rated love language conversation, and this one is just more so. Holding hands.
Mhm.
I was never a hand holder. My wife
No.
became a hand holder, and so I'm a hand.
Your
You know what I'm
hand
saying?
holder now. You're nuts.
Hand holder. You know what I mean? That's like I do that when we're walking into somewhere. We hold hands so people know we're in love. We like each
I
other.
don't think that'll ever be mine. I get so uncomfortable if someone holds my
You
hand.
not a hand holder. You don't seem like a hand holder.
No, I'm not.
Are
I'm
you a
not.
are you a PDA? Are you a PDA person?
Oh no, please. I made several Facebook stats about that. I hate PDA. Oh
It
my God. I
makes me
mean, look, like something small, like a hug or something. I'm okay with that. But if it's like holding my hand and walking, I'm like, oh, please. Or if
look
it's like
holding your
giving me a
hand and
kiss
grabbing
and
you from
grabbing me,
behind
and
and,
I'm like,
and
oh
walking with you
my
while
God,
you.
yes. Oh, I'd be like, please do not do that. Like, stop it. Like, I would get so uncomfortable. And it's not so much as me being embarrassed. It's just not just out of the ordinary for me. And like you said, that may be something you would get used to being with someone for over time, and you would get used to it, especially if that's
Yeah,
their
see,
love
we know what
language.
it is with you. See, Tisha got too many niggas that be out and about. So if
I
one nigga is
be
all
like,
hugged up on her, then her other nigga gonna see that shit and get mad, and he gonna hit her up like, "I seen you with your boo today. I seen you with your
and
nigga.
that
That's your nigga
actually
now.
happened.
That's your dude.
That happened before. It wasn't
That's
on
your
that
dude."
level. It was crazy. I was in the mall walking with this guy. He literally bought me some shoes. In the his love language was physical touch. I just knew it. He just always liked to be like very, very close. And like he bought me a pair of shoes. I had just broke up with my boyfriend at
Well,
this
you
time.
gotta show some PDA if I just bought you some
So
forces, some
he
fresh,
like wanted
some
to
Coke
hold
Whites.
hands
God
through the
damn it, I
mall
better
after
see
he
some
bought the
PDA.
shoes, and I was so stuck. So I'm holding his hand in the mall, thinking like, "Well, what the heck am I doing?" As soon as I got home, I got a message from my ex boyfriend saying his friend seen me at the mall holding hands with the guy. I was like, "Oh," he's
So look,
like,
I
"You
look.
don't
That's
even
why she don't
hold
fuck with it.
hands."
That's why she don't fuck with it. Cause look, she been burned once before. Nigga, you fucking up the game. You
Man,
fucking
he
up the
said, "You
game.
don't even
But
hold hands."
you know what I'm saying? But look, but that's the thing about it. See, if a nigga knew the game, he'll be like, "Hey, nah, I ain't gonna hold her hand, but you know, I'm gonna talk to her about capitalism and how these shoes don't represent you as a woman. These shoes may make you look good, but my sister, you is so much more buddies. You feel me? Your
Mm,
mind is. See, if a nigga know what to
mm.
do, a nigga
He
would.
had
If
to
a
have
nigga know
no,
what to do,
nah.
you know what
Yeah,
I'm
he
saying?
he he was game tardy.
Hey, at least you got some shoes out of the deal, but.
I did, I did, I did, and at
But
least he got to hold my hand.
and he got the hold on, and he can say that. He was like, "Yeah, nigga, y'all had a baby, nigga, but shit, I held her hand in the mall, nigga, and you seen it.
I was so uncomfortable that whole
You
time. Like,
seen
oh
it cuffed.
God, I hate
That's what you
holding
call
hands.
cuffing.
It was so
Yeah.
terrible. I
You
hate
said
holding
cuffing.
hands.
You said cuffing season is your favorite season.
Yeah, if I'm
Yeah.
being cuffed, maybe.
Look, hey, don't let teacher fool y'all. She a what they call a hopeless
Hopeless.
romantic. Low key.
Yeah, there you go.
She a
Don't let
hopeless
me fool
romantic
y'all. I'll
low
be
key.
talking shit, but
These niggas just don't. They just ain't got the key. All they got to do is watch the podcast. You got to watch the
all
podcast.
the
You
tools,
understand?
all the tools in the game is here.
Matter of fact, listen. We should go ahead and just use that just to build the audience. Goddamn it! Like, listen, if you're trying to shoot a shot, watch the podcast. You at least get a chance because you'll know what's up. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man, that would be
Um,
good promo.
yeah, great promo, right? Listen, don't even. Look, I'll be like, fuck it, don't even worry about me. We just gonna do the whole show like this. Let me switch it up. We're gonna do the whole show like this. Look, we just do it like that.
Yeah,
If y'all can
nuts.
learn something, we'll do the whole show like this. You feel me? And then niggas can
Wow,
learn something and they gotta worry about me.
you're
You know,
such a nut.
do
But
it the
no,
do it the right.
yeah, no, physical touch is my least favorite. I don't know, I just kind of like get so uncomfortable. I get this weird feeling in my body. I just get these jitters and my hands start sweating. It's bad.
Yeah. Yeah,
It's
I
bad.
definitely understand that feeling. But again, with all of these love language, I think what's the most important thing to depart to the people before we break out is understanding it is important because I mean, you never know what you're better at. You know what I mean? You may think
Absolutely.
that, I'm not a good gift giver, or, I
Mhm.
don't have good conversation, or maybe somebody don't want to spend time with me. And you never know what it is that, that you're able to do for somebody that's really easy for you, that goes a long way for somebody else.
Absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like spending that time, or like having a conversation, right?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So like, just from my perspective, before I let the holistic expert close out, um, it's just that, be just like with any language, be open to understanding. If you
Mhm.
fluent in love languages, you know what I mean? It's just like knowing, if you could say, French, Spanish, Latin, German, you know what I'm saying, Swedish, like shit, your resume looks stacked. So if you
Mhm.
able to say I speak in all the love languages, hey, you able to do something. You know what I'm
Man,
saying?
I
So,
speak fluent.
right, like fluent in that shit. You feel
Yes,
me?
yes,
But
yes.
go ahead and give them some parting wisdom before we close out.
I think it's very imperative for you guys to really understand and identify love languages. And like I mentioned previously, not only in relationships and intimate relationships, I think this is like very conducive for any type of relationship that you have, even with your friends, your family, siblings, your child, your pet, whatever, whatever type of thing that you're connected with or person that you're connected with. I think that this is these are very good tools to utilize to actually keep the relationship stronger and build a stronger bond between you and the objective. And I identify those love languages are super, super easy. If you want to take a test, you can go online and take a quick test. Be mindful of the test. Like Dominique took the test today, and
That shit was
it
wrong.
yeah.
It was wrong.
So if you and if you feel the test is wrong, that's a really good understanding of you actually know who you are and how to identify love languages. So that's a good indication that you can utilize in your relationship to pick up or your relationships to pick up those type of signs and signals that your partners and your friends and families are putting off. And another good way, if you're really good into astrology or astronomy or whatever, natal readings and stuff like that, a good indication with the pick up love languages is by their Venus sign and their Mars sign. If you want to really identify someone's love language, oftentimes it's their Venus sign. You can pick up how their love is. They like have a Taurus and Venus, which is like the ruler of Taurus, ruling planet of Taurus. You can identify their love language as someone that loves, like maybe a Taurus love language would be receiving gifts because there's some material sign. So, receiving gifts could be their love language, and they actually identify a lot with that, and all those things of that nature. So, or you have a Gemini in Venus, and their love language could very well so be communication.
Hey, that's I've already written it down. This is a whole show. Love languages and signs.
Mhm.
That's a whole other show.
It is.
Yeah, that's
That
a whole
that
nother
that's
show. I'm writing it down
definitely
because we're gonna do
something.
it.
Yes.
Cause look, Tisha sent me a list of shows. You feel me, that we really gonna get into.
Yeah.
This was the one that I was like, ooh, I want to do this one.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But we got a few more that we're gonna get into. But I think this is one that we add to the list in terms of,
Absolutely.
how love languages relate to your natal chart, relate to
Mhm.
your astrological makeup. You know what I mean? How the stars
Absolutely.
define you. So
Absolutely.
we definitely gonna have to get in that and to break it down. But
Absolutely.
um this was a good one. As Melvin said, appreciate you for joining us, Melvin. Straight from YouTube, everybody that was able to join from Facebook. Thank all of y'all for tuning in again. Y'all make
Thank
sure
you.
y'all
Thank you. Thank
subscribe to the
you.
Over 30 Podcast on Facebook, or excuse me, on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so you know every time we go live. Also, you can find the page on Facebook at the Over 30 Podcast. You can follow
Mhm.
me at the Political Plug on all social media. Same thing with Tisha Marie at Infinite Omniscience. You don't have to Google that to spell it. I ain't really, you know what I'm saying? I use autocorrect nowadays. So
You can follow me on IG at Infinite Omniscient, or you can follow my business pages at Infinite Stars Holistic Healing or Infinite Stars Incorporation, all social media platforms as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. You can find me wherever.
all of that. But this has been the Over 30 podcast. Y'all stay tuned. We will be back next Tuesday. We'll be back on our regularly scheduled time. But it was a lot of good information that came out of this episode. So y'all make sure y'all stay tuned to see these clips come out. They'll be on YouTube and on Facebook. So y'all can understand your love language. And if y'all have any questions, if y'all want to learn more about any of the information that we talked about, make sure y'all visit the sister at Infinite Omniscience on at Instagram. Hit her up in the DMs. She just did the whole, you know what I'm saying, reading for somebody that was in the WNBA. They getting it cracking. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Don't sleep on my sister. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
we out.
Hey.